there's a perception that compared to Wisconsin, other Midwestern states have been more creative, more aggressive, and more effective when it comes to attracting companies, spurring economic growth, and expanding the companies they have within their states.
Yeah.
So as our new governor, what specifically would you recommend we do and do differently to be more effective at economic growth within the state and for competing with the other kind of peer states in the upper Midwest that have done a better job than we have?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. In fact, it ties in, beyond my overall plan for $250,000, which is more of a long-term thing you do in the budget, and even beyond the things I talked about just for that special session. We just talked about yesterday, got a story today where I guess there were competing lines for who's going to be the greatest cheerleader for the state of Wisconsin, but what we did was more than just say we're going to be a cheerleader. We talked about what that means. For me, it means a series of things. First off, if you're a business in the state that wants to create or relocate 50 jobs, I'm telling those businesses right now, I'm making a personal commitment that I'll meet with every single one of those businesses personally. I'm not going to push it off to the Secretary of Commerce or anybody else. I will make the job creation in the state my number one priority, and we'll clear our schedule anytime there's a business that wants to do that to say, what can we do to get you to be here? We talked about even simple things like creating a direct line, a hotline into the governor's office for businesses that want to do that, or God forbid those that might want to relocate, to say, we'll get you a response within 24 hours. We'll make a contact to say, here's what do we need to do? How do we get things engaged here? More specific marketing things on that. Something we looked at that we were involved with the M7, but we take it far beyond just what the M7 did. We have what we call a ready, set, build concept. We create an inventory statewide of all the sites that are available for development. But instead of just saying, here's a site somebody wants to sell, we want to take it a step further by working with every local government, with local chamber, with local regional economic development component or economic development corporation at the county level, and say, let's not only identify an inventory of those, let's actually get the permitting process as far down the line. So Betsy, if I say you want to come in and you want to put a new distribution center further out on, say, outside of Milwaukee County, you're looking for a site up in West Bend or somewhere else, we can say, here are 5 sites. Not only are they available, here's the space, but we've already done all the permitting short of approving your specific project, so we save them time and money in doing so. The other things in terms of attracting businesses, importing businesses in from other states, we laid out in our plan, I would give any corporation in this country, or for that matter across the world, that's willing to come into Wisconsin and create new jobs, move their corporation here, I'll give them a 2-year reprieve on corporate income taxes. Now, of course, the attack from the left was, oh, you're giving tax breaks to businesses. Well, they're not here. They're not paying any taxes right now. Anybody who's got commercial property knows what's the number one way to get renters into your property? Give them a couple months free for rent, right? Whether it's renting an apartment or renting commercial space, that's essentially what I'm saying. We'll give you 2 years free from corporate income taxes if you bring your corporation into Wisconsin. They're not here now. It doesn't cost us a penny per the budget question, but it certainly makes it a strong incentive. And instead of me having to take more money out of my budget that's already in a hole to give to corporations, I'm giving them something that doesn't cost me a penny, but it does save them some pretty penny in the future. If they're a business that doesn't pay corporate income taxes, then the reverse, and we look at what Mitch Daniels and others have done in states like Indiana, say, I'll give you up to a 50% tax credit on your relocation cost, and I'll allow you to defer it over 10 years, because for a lot of these smaller startup businesses, they may not achieve enough in income to actually take a tax credit the first year, defer it for up to 10 years, so it actually becomes a real cash incentive for them to bring jobs. And we have to systematically do things that directly impact, and then do the larger things that lower our cost of doing business through our bigger plan to make it not only attractive to come here, but to stay here.
What, if anything, would you do to reorganize Department of Commerce?
I love the Be Bold Wisconsin plan. I love the Accelerate Wisconsin. I think we got to have a public-private partnership. I think that would work exceptionally well. It's part of what I'd like to do. Kickstart moving on that, even in our first special session of the legislature. I was at WADA yesterday, and I was at a couple of days or a week ago at Competitive Wisconsin, spoke on both subjects. I think Be Bold Wisconsin is great. I embrace it. I support it. I just don't think it's bold enough. I'd take it further. You look, and if I remember right, I think it's page 5, the beginning of that report, one of the charts there shows barriers to economic development in the state. The first 2 are ones fully addressed in the report in the Be Bold plan. talks about a strategic plan for the state, and it talks about incentives, funds to tap into incentives. I support those as part of the plan. The next two after that barriers are the cost of doing business, wages, taxes, utility, healthcare. All those are things addressed in our 250,000 job plan. And the other barrier is the regulatory climate. All things we talk about changing as well.